country which uses the best language next to UK, United Kingdom, is India. Indian English is the supreme, the best in the world. The accent, the wordings, the pronunciation of the communication in English is the best from India. In India, the excellent communication, the people who are using English is South Indians. And in South India, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka are the three states who are extremely good in speaking English, writing in English, using English officially, unofficially, and at the personal level. That is one of the most important reasons why all South Indian boys and girls are preferred in the offices in the rest of the world. It is because of their capacity to use the language more effectively, more efficiently in the modern days. Today, after 1991, we have opened a new era of business. In this new era of business, the most effective, efficient people who are using the English and who are making money is only the information technology related employees, information technology related employers, related internationally renowned entrepreneurs. All these people are giving solid support to India. It is only because the most powerful tool what they have is in English. And English is totally universally accepted. Even in Karnataka, though our language is Kannada and Kannada Sangha is fighting for the use of English in almost all walks of life, but at the same time they have realized without English we cannot lead our life. Gone are those days where the local language like Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and even Kannada, if we are going to restrict ourselves to only to the regional languages, only to the languages of our mother tongue, we will not be able to flourish abroad. We will not be able to go to foreign countries. We will not be able to take up big jobs. We can concentrate only on the local area, local opportunity, local business, and local related issues only we can solve with the local languages. We adore, we make puja to our local and mother tongue, but at the same time, for the purpose of livelihood, for the purpose of making money, for the purpose of creating wealth, we need English. And even now, if you are planning to go abroad after your degree or after your post-graduation, there are different levels of English examinations that you have to take. TOEFL examination you have to take. Without the completion of this minimum English related exam, you will not be permitted to go to abroad. So they have made this as a mandatory for all the people to clear this exam, and at the same time, they will test your competency in English language. A small paragraph can be written in 10 pages. 10 pages story can be reduced in 10 lines. That is the beauty of English. Ramayana can be told in 1000 pages, but at the same time, Ramayana can be compressed to 10 minutes of talk. Mahabharata can be expanded for years together. At the same time, it can be explained within 1 hour. Bhagavad Gita can be explained in whole of the life. At the same time, Bhagavad Gita can be explained in 18 chapters. Each chapter can be explained in few sentences. That is the power of language. That is the power of English. So, with all this importance, with all these concerns, with all these necessities, I insisted English departmental people to take up the lead and give importance of English to our children. The most worried point of language problem in college life is more than 70 to 80% of the students, they score 80, 90% in examination, and they score distinction in their respective examination. But when it comes to the point of talking, when it comes to the point of public speaking, when it comes to the point of exchanging of their personality with others, they fail. Though the person who is a rank holder, he is unable to speak in English at least for 10 sentences. Because of their own problem, because of their own compressed mind, not an open-minded arena for learning the English. That should go now, that should go. So when compared to China and India and Pakistan, especially when you compare to China and India, China concentrated too much on Chinese language and they propagated China system of living in China and to the rest of the world. But India, we focused this language right from the day one. Even in British ruling or earlier to the British ruling, we were concentrating on good learning of English. As a result of that, throughout the world, America, all developed countries prefer Indians when compared to Chinese. Why they prefer Indians to Chinese? Though Chinese are brilliant, Chinese are intelligent, they will not be considered for jobs and other activities because the communication problem. The Chinese cannot talk in English. Their accent, their usage of English, nobody can understand. Whereas Indian English in the rest of the world can be understood by everybody. And the beauty of English language, I am a management professor. More than me, Dr. Arul is here. He will be able to explain the details of grammar, details of comprehension, details of the importance of language of English in the coming days, how to make your life, what are the great opportunities that you have in various walks of life. All these things will be explained to you people by Dr. Arul. To conclude, it is going to be a wonderful session. The expert is going to address all of you and make use of this opportunity. And I congratulate the English department and all the team members of the English department headed by Abhilash for having enrolled the members more than 100. And I feel that another 50 to 60 people are observing the English webinar through the YouTube. And it's a great achievement for me to participate in this program and to speak a few words about English. Hearty congratulations once again to the students and to the English department. And I will also look forward, Dr. Arul, to enrich our students' knowledge in the field of English. Over to Abhilash for further proceedings of the program. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for your insightful talk and inspiring words, sir. It was detailed narration of how we need to understand the English language and its importance in the modern world. Thank you so much, sir. Now it's time to call Assistant Professor Sushma A to introduce the speaker for today and to introduce the topic to the audience. Over to you, ma'am.
Happy morning, everyone. Myself, Sushma A., Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, respected Chief Guest, Director Sir, Principal, faculty members, and my dear students of GTET. It gives me an immense pleasure to introduce and welcome resource person Dr. P. Arul Nehru Sir. Dr. Arul Nehru is working as an assistant professor in pedagogy of English and Regional Institute of Education, Mysore. He is MA in English and Linguistics, MEd, MPhil, and PhD. He also pursued diploma in digital literacy and Japanese. He did his master's in English and Linguistics. Sir has a teaching experience of 8 years in reputed universities like the English and Foreign Languages University, Hyderabad, Osmania University, Hyderabad, and RIE Mysore. He has published many papers, also held various seminars, webinars, and conducted many workshops in Kochikodi, Chennai, Hyderabad. I once again welcome Dr. P. Arul Nehru Sir for today's session. Welcome you, sir. Let me introduce today's topic, which Sir is going to brief you all. Reading comprehension reflecting on literacy text. Reading comprehension is important for several reasons and it provides many benefits. Being able to effectively read can improve both your personal and professional life and can increase your overall enjoyment of reading. Knowing how to understand a text can help you to boost your knowledge in certain areas and help you to learn new skills and information faster. Additional benefits of good reading comprehension skills includes being to understand, analyze and respond to documents and written communication in the workplace, improved your ability to write clearly and effectively. The ability to comprehend and engage in a current events that are in a written form such as newspapers, increased ability to focus on reading for an extended period. Now, I wish you all a happy and fruitful session. I would like to request Dr. P. Arul Nehru sir to moderate the session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really wonderful introduction. I have to thank GTET management for conducting this seminar, and the Department of English and Abhilash requested me to take over some topic which will be very fruitful and useful for the future of the students. So, warm welcome and good morning, everyone. And dear students, it will be a fruitful experience for you because we are going to see something in English, as Sir has mentioned, without language, we have nothing in our hands. Good. So, let me share my screen and I will start the topic. Yes. Yes, Abhilash, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Good. Very good. So, you can see here, it's a one-day webinar. We are going to understand reading comprehension. Generally, we go with always in the schools and colleges and even outside. Reflecting on literary skill is really important. What do you mean by reflecting skill? That we are going to focus on today. So we have to understand something by thinking about what it is. So everybody, please look at here. There is a quote by Franz. The Franz says, think before you speak. For example, today I'm going to speak. So I have to think what to speak, how to speak, what are the things I have to consider today's talk. And before you read, and before you read, you have to do something. Reading before you think. For example, today I have something. For example, I want to read something. I want to read something. So, what to do now? What to read now? So, I want to think something. Without anything, can you directly go and think? Because you take a textbook, you read and look at that, take the information, comprehend and reflect and interpret that and analyze it and apply it to the real life. So, you have to say, read before you think. So if you want to develop your thinking skill, you must read. Everybody should be a thinker. For being a thinker, you have to read, start reading now. I have a question. Sir, like, why do you choose the topic reading and reflecting on literary text? What is the necessity of reading? Sir, everybody is reading now. I have a question. When we compare to our reading habits before ICT, that means mobile, after mobile and laptop, how many of you are having the habit of going to library and read? Please think about yourself. Please write it down in your notebook or small paper. Do you have a reading habits in library? The role of library in promoting reading habits. So how many of you are getting the assignments, immediately taking your mobile and then go to the browser and check the topic and getting the summary of somebody has written? But I want you to go to library, first hand experience. As Sar has mentioned, reading is very essential skill because reading is considered as a literacy itself. Reading first, when you see before independence, you can see Michael West proposed for Indians, education should be given based on reading skill. And English is known as library language. Why we call it as a library language? Please think about it. Everybody, please answer yourself, reflect yourself. Why English is known as, now it is a world language, lingua franca. Before independence, it was known as library language because in those days there is no internet, computer, or mobile to immediately share our ideas. If you want to get knowledge, if you want to improve yourself, if you want to update your knowledge, you have to go to library. By reading, you are going to develop your skills. By reading, you are going to get the knowledge. So by reading, you are open the window of the knowledge. So window is there, open the window, the knowledge is available in the library. So to get the knowledge, you have to develop the reading skill. And we have to also think about what is reading, how we are reading. What was that I have started learning reading skill in schools and colleges, and future when I get job. Before we go to job, how do you prepare for your interview? Even after getting job, how do you sustain the job without losing the job? So there is an interview. In between one interview in the job, they will ask you for your progress. And when you leave the college, that means when you leave your job, when you retire, there is also interview again, how you have served the department or the institute that you have worked. So you have to always consider reading is a lifelong process. Reading is not just to read and then after the education, hereafter, no more books, nothing. So till the time you live, you have to read. Yes, let me go to the next slide. So I said, why till the time you have to read means thinking skill comes with the reading skill. So these days, people will ask you, do you agree? Why do you think so? How it happens? Please think yourself and answer. Otherwise, identify the answer, locate the answer directly. What is exactly available in the text? What is the name of the person, character? Simply look at and tell. And when it happened, look at the age and tell. But we have to also develop the skill reading and reflecting. It's not just reading alone. Reflecting skill is also very much essential. So I want everybody to think about the topic. Think about what is reading and till now what we have been doing about reading. So I have some task for you. So I start with the thinking task. Okay, everybody, including all the teachers also, I including myself. Let's see the task about thinking. What is that retrospect? So what happened in the past? Are you a good reader? Please, everybody, please write it down. Are you a good reader? And are you a good reader and active reader? Not passive, simply listen and read and sleep. Active and good reader. Understand everything. So I read very well. If somebody asks you, please take this book, please can you read for me? Read aloud. Yes, I can read very well. Please think about it and answer it nearby. Use one keywords that you are a good reader. Yes, I am good reader in terms of what? I am good at pronunciation or meaning, inference or extracting the identification or skimming and scanning for specific information or overall idea. If somebody gets a book in the library, they look at the books here and there and say, this is a good book. In a minute, they will say, so people are with talented getting the book, reading, that is called scanning and skimming. Immediately they will tell you this book is good and this book is not good. And the next one, please everybody, introspect. Intro means within. Self-reading practice. So what are the things you want in terms of developing reading? What are the things you are already good at reading? A text, newspaper, column, articles, novels, anything in terms of types of text. Introspect. So spection means spectacle, looking. Look yourself in terms of reading skill. And after this webinar, you are going to look at prospect. Prospect means after the webinar, what would be your future? Do you get some kind of knowledge from this webinar and it will be helpful in the future? So from the future perspective, see everybody, don't simply listen to me today. It is a like kind of some kind of occasion and then forget about it. Today it is only a kind of awareness, creating awareness and knowing the strategies that how it will be useful and continuously practice only makes you perfect. So end of the 1 hour, I can't give you surety that you become a good reader. But you, I can say, I can also sure that, be sure, you can be good at what is it reading means. So how to develop. So you can understand the way of thinking about reading now after the webinar. So please everybody, I hope you have had a kind of thinking activity today. So let me start with this as a reading here. Introduction. So here you see I have already mentioned about thinking, right? Now let's start generally. What is that focus here? Reading is very important. Understanding the text is very important. And reflecting on the literary text or types of text is really a kind of opportunity for us to work on the literary work. It's a kind of reading strategies. Strategy means it's a systematic plan how to read a text and how to understand a text and how to reflect on the text. So we have to understand it's a kind of planned activity. It is not just like that, buy a textbook and then go ahead and here and then look at it without a plan. It's a systematic, right? Reading is a science. Reading is a science and it's a skill. Let us see the other aspects of reading here. It's a literary interpretation. What is that literary interpretation? Just like always, we talk about reading comprehension. There is a reading comprehension passage comes in the exams, as Sar has mentioned, TOEFL, IELTS exams, and all. Reading passages are coming, but in schools generally we don't think, we don't reflect, we don't interpret. What we do? Read, memorize, identify, reorganize the information, and come for the exam. So reading is mainly for preparing for intensive reading, preparing for exams. So how many of you are reading for pleasure? Please write it down. If you say yes, what are the novels, what are the books you read and personal interest? Reading for pleasure. Simply read. Sir, I want to time pass. Very good. Sir, I want to read before I sleep. Yes. When I go for traveling, I read. Yes, very good. Please write it down, something like that. And we have to also understand here literature's potential to evoke empathy and self reflection. It is not just to read and understand the story and live it. We have to also see the potentiality of evoke empathy, understand, and be in that situation. Be in that situation and reflect yourself. Reflect yourself. And here we have to say multi-factor model of literary reading. Sir, I read differently, but he says something else. What can I do? Yes, it is called divergent thinking. Divergent thinking. It is a multi-factor. I come from different culture. You come from different culture and different country and different context. So different factors. So we call it as multi-factor model. It helps you because you have different experience and link with the new experience, new information, and interpret your reading, literary reading. So everybody please respect others reading, others point of view, others perspective when you read, because when you read the same text in one context you interpret differently. After 5 years you read the same text, you interpret differently. It's wonderful, right? So whenever you see a text after getting a particular experience, you change yourself. You reflect in a different way, in a better way. That is what we are going to look at it here. And here I have to also think about linking process. When you read the information, it is a recent experience. What is available in the text? I read it. Yeah, something he's talking about, some story about the family relationship. And earlier one, in order to promote, we also live in a family. We also have a family. And we also look at the friends and culture, right? Where we come from. And it's a kind of more complex and interrelated mental schema, that is cognitive skill. So everybody reads the text in a complex manner. That's what reading is always known as, complex cognitive process, because nobody can go and see it. For example, my students can cheat me taking a textbook, looking at the textbook like this for a long time. So I feel that they are reading. So in the previous time, they thought that reading is a passive skill because readers are sitting just like that in the library, no sound, no noise, no activeness. Simply look at the textbook. But now we don't think readers are really passive. Everybody is active. You are students, you are really active when you are reading, engaged with a lot of mental activity based on your schema. Schema means your past experience, your knowledge, your earlier experience connected with the previous and then to the present one. It's a kind of reconstruction of knowledge. It's a construction of knowledge that you have to think of here. And look at this. We are not just reading the textbook, thinking. Always I'm thinking about it. Start with the thinking only. If you say thinking, It involves looking for commonalities. Yeah, look at this. This culture is different from here. No, it is similar to me and different, similar text, and it has a commonalities and differences. There is a connection, interrelation. There is between something. So it can be superficial or even deep level also you can go. So we are going to see different types of different levels of comprehension in this webinar here. Yes. And everybody, please, whenever I say mark it down and think about it, please, you have to make it. If you have any issues or problems, you have to ask questions. I will come to know the questions and we can have a kind of discussion at the end. Yes. And the main goal of developing reading skill is simply reading. And here, today's goal is to move from one to other level called higher order thinking. We have to go from lower order to higher order thinking. People also say HOT, HOTS. So people say we have to develop HOTS in the colleges and universities. So that is the focus of quality education. Right. So everybody, this is the task for you. Importance of reading. Please write it down. Importance of reading. If you are not able to read a passage, a text, a written passage, is there any problem? Is there any problem? What could be the problem? Sir, I'm not able to read that. How to read this particular word or how to read that? For example, I gave you Japanese text. Can you read? No. You have to read. I studied Japanese. In the beginning, I don't know how to read it. So you can understand we have to develop basic reading skills. So in schools, you can see they will teach you how to read by reading aloud. The teacher will give you model reading. That is a basic level to understand the components of language, punctuation, pause, giving, reading, stress, and all. So please think about it yourself. If you don't know how to read, will there be a problem? Is it something you consider? The next one, I have a question. Sir, I can read the text, sir, but I'm not able to understand, unable to understand. I can read. My cousin's sister, she is studying in 4th standard. She can read my textbook, but unable to understand the meaning of the text. If you don't understand the meaning of the text, will there be a problem? Is it necessary to understand the text? Everybody, please write it down yourself. Do this activity as a thinking process. So how many of you are feeling that, sir, I could read all the text? Very good. Sir, there are texts I could not understand. There are text or book I have problem in understanding. Think about it. And the third question, reflection. Sir, why we are focusing on reflection? Is it really necessary? Sir, I read and understand enough, right? But is there any importance that you think when it comes to the process of reflecting? If you don't reflect, will there be a problem? So reading, simple activity. Understanding is a cognitive activity. Reflecting is beyond that understanding. You have to go beyond and reflect with the text what you read. So everybody think and realize the importance of it. Please write it down yourself. If you have any issues or problems, please make a question mark. At the end, you can give to Abhilash or somebody so that they can tell me so we can have a discussion here. It's very important for you to think about these aspects here. And it is main reason by thinking we develop a systematic plan for close reading and critical reflection. So it is not just reading, it is the strategies we are going to develop, or we are going to identify our own strategies, self strategies for close reading of a text and critically reflect on the text, what we read. So if somebody reads and tells, will there be any interesting thing? For example, I read this text. Yes, I understood the 10 points and I'm telling back same thing as I'm vomiting same thing. Will there be any kind of creativity? Is there something kind of critical analysis or interpretation or reflection on that? No. You have to identify, develop new knowledge, creating something new knowledge from that what is available for you. So take a textbook, read it, understand, and bring your experience and emotionally reflect on that. You have to bring your personal experience into the text. So now you tell me, reading is not just getting information from the book. It is not only getting the knowledge from the book. It is also constructing the knowledge from the book information and from your experience. You will be a writer in tomorrow. You will be writing a book so that others can read the book and reflect on what is you have written there, right? Good, very good. So I hope everybody actively participating. So I want everybody's participation and interaction also possible. But interaction, it takes a lot of time. So we have to have a discussion at the end. So please remember that. And I have to tell you something. What happens in the school? In quickly, I will complete it here. So Rosenblatt, you can see, she talks about reading literature in schools and colleges, often focused on the information. What is the character? What is the event? Like plot, the story, right? Character. That's it you read. It's called efferent reading. Efferent reading means the focus is on only information you have to remember. You have to remember. But actually, the truth is, we have to study the plot and account for the character, the reason out, comparison, relationship, and try to make sense of meaning from the interpretation. So, interpret. It is not directly what is actually available in the text. You tell me what you think. So the question is, do you agree with the character? Do you interpret? Do you look at the text from different perspective? Marxist perspective, communist perspective, or psychoanalysis perspective, or Freudian theory, like Lacan, you have to look at the text from the different perspective. So you can see here, efferent reading is good for scientific reading, articles, books, expository text, particularly, please note it down, expository text. That means informative text. But what we are going to read is literary text. So literary text means you should not ignore your intuitiveness and creative feelings. You should not keep aside. So we have to take in our hands called aesthetic reading. Aesthetic reading is on creating an emotional transaction. So here only you can see emotional personal reflection comes, personal self-reflection comes, and interpretive process comes, right? It's not just to remember and repeat, recall, remember and recall. And through literature, new reaction comes, new perception comes. That's what I already told you. Creating divergent thinking. Thinking is there, and we have to also have divergent thinking. Different way of thinking, different way of thinking. Reading a text from the different perspective, different point of view that we are going to consider. And quickly, I will tell you, reading literary text. It should be clear. It is an act of aesthetic reading, and it should allow the students, everybody, not only students and teachers, allow and supposed to react. It's not read and go. React and reflect. React and reflect. Everybody, please carefully think about the reason for reacting and reflecting. So we can consider that. And here we have to also understand the meaning of reading and process of reading. I will also talk about that. Why we have to understand the meaning of reading, sir? So interesting, right? Why it is so interesting, I will tell you. It will be more interesting to think. So reading, please everybody. What is reading means? Reading. I will give you time. Please write it down. So reading means, what is that? What do you think about reading means? People will say reading means looking at the textbook, sir, taking a book and reading. Yes, very good. What about the electrician? Somebody comes and look at the monitor, something like that. He says, the reading says something points, the reading. What is that meaning? Reading means. And in this in the lab, chemistry lab, they will say, please, I want somebody, please take readings. Take readings here. What is the reading means there? And in the time of like agriculture, like agricultural things, or if you say hunting, in olden days, the people, tribal peoples, read the track of animals, footpath. What is that reading means there? Reading. And before this time, now I am known as assistant professor. Before 10 years, it is called readers in the departments. Readers, who are they? Why they are called as readers? Not teachers, but it is readers. Why they are known as readers in the department? Please think about it. Everybody. So another thing I can say, please show your hands. Show your hands. I can read your hands. I can read your hands. What is there in the hands to read? Is there something to read? Or people also say, please stop reading my mind. Stop reading my mind means don't tell me what I think. How do you know what I think? Even people afraid of magician, he will say, you think something, I will tell you. So I can read your mind, mind readers. What they will do, reading means they tell me. Reading is not just taking the textbook and then reading. Reading means, everybody, please carefully listen. Reading means trying to understand something, trying to understand something. So if it is a textbook, understand what is there in the textbook. If it is hands, what is there given in the roots or map, whatever, like, you can see here, and interpret. It is nothing is available directly. He will be looking at somebody, interpret based on the hands, shapes. Same way, they will also read your mind based on your behavior, based on your expression, based on your body language, gestures, based on everything. They will predict and infer the meaning. Try to understand what you think. Understand what you think. So everybody, I hope it is very much interesting to see what is reading. Sir, reading means we thought only reading the textbook, right? Reading means it has many meaning in the history of reading. So let us see basics of reading as a meaning here. So you can say the meaning of reading. Quickly, I will go through so that you can also be aware of what is reading so that it will be useful for us to reflect on the reading. Right. Generally, reading means you thought that, sir, looking at the words and symbols. If it is Japanese, Chinese, I don't know. But if it is English, I know because you are aware of the sounds. Next one, understand what the meaning. So the vocabulary and then meaning of the text, meaning of the phrase, meaning of the sentences, I can understand the meaning. So how do you do that? How do you do that process? Let us see one by one. It is a skill. It is a skill. So if you have the skill, for example, driving skill, I give you a car, you can reach anywhere. Same way, you have the skill of reading. I give you any textbook, you read all the textbook. You understand why it is known as a skill now? Skill to understand something. It's a kind of activity that what we do. Look at this first. It is a skill of getting information from the text, from the written symbol. So in the beginning, people thought that look at the textbook, improve your knowledge, getting the information, getting the information. Later, people thought it's obtaining the meaning and information by looking at the textbook. It is not just by from the textbook, by looking at the textbook, what you do, you obtain the meaning, obtain the meaning. Again, people thought it is not just obtaining meaning because people are obtaining different meanings from different context. So people thought that it is understand the meaning or intended something. It is not what actually available there. People can also understand the intention of that. For example, there are two sisters, okay, they're fighting for something and trying to break something. So other sister says, don't break that, mother will kill you. So the literal what actually stated is mother will kill you if you break that, right? It will not be the real meaning. The intention is mother will be angry with you if you do that, so don't do it. So you have to understand the meaning or intention of something from the textbook. And again, you have to see, not only understand, the readers are giving the meaning. You know how interesting it is? Reading means not just understand, they are giving the meaning to the text. That's what author, you can say reader response theory. The author is dead soon after writing the book. Who is giving life to the text? The reader is giving life to the text. The reader is giving particular meaning to the text. So interpretation of the book, review writing of the book. So people write different reviews. Somebody will say very good book, somebody say not good, somebody says moderate, somebody says it is a valuable book for this person's present situation, present century, like 21st century skills. This book is more perfect. So people give meaning to the text, people meaning to the written text. So you have to always understand. Now you understand the meaning of reading means. It is not just looking at the textbook simply like a passive reader. You are an active reader. You are very much important because you are interacting with the text and giving meaning to the text. So I hope everything is clear here. So people also say, what about loud reading, sir? It can also be reading, as I have said. Again, what about that other aspects like as a reading as a faculty, right? Teaching faculty, or you can say measurements, you note it down, any kind of is also called of reading. So finally, the meaning of reading, as I have said, it is like the way you understand in which something. The way in which you understand something is called reading. Looking at the hand is also reading. Looking at the monitor is also reading. Looking at the numbers also reading. So anything you try to understand from the symbol or numbers or hands or your activity is called reading. See how interesting it is? So till now we will be thinking, hey, read it. Read means we think that textbook or something, take the book or take the mobile something, read something. So you have to understand that. So reading means it can be different meaning. Now itself we can understand divergent thinking when it comes to reading itself. Yes. Now let us see the process of reading. We have to understand how we read and understand. You have to also develop. You have to also be aware of the process of reading. How you are reading. That's what I said in the beginning. Introspect and retrospect. Think about yourself, how you are reading till now, and what are the ways to do systematic way of reading that you are going to understand clearly here. Look at this. Already I have told you it's a process of looking and getting meaning from the written symbol. Yes, it is a clear, right? Yes. How you are doing here? We are doing with eyes to receive the symbols. If you don't have properly, right, you can't receive the symbols. If you don't receive the symbols, the information is not reached your brain, so you can't even convert. That means you can't even have cognitive process. To have the cognitive process, you have to have proper eyes. So if you have a strain your eyes, you have to always understand we should not strain your eyes and suffer. We have to also properly read it and properly understand the meaning, getting the meaning. So how do you do that? Converting the written symbols. If it is different language, English, you know what you know, the words you know, sentences you know, paragraphs you know. For example, the word, something new word I give you, conjure up. You are reading the meaning, conjure up. How do you convert the meaning? How it communicate to you the meaning to us from the textbook? Conjure up. Anybody, if you know the meaning, please you can write it down, or you can check in the meaning also later. So I will tell you how do you convert. If you are familiar with the word, you get the meaning. If you are not familiar with the word, something will help you to get the meaning. What is that? People say dictionary. No, before that something is available. People say meaning available in the dictionary, meaning available, yes, but something is there before that. That we are going to see in the other aspect of the process. Let us see here. I told you it is interaction between the reader and the text. So interaction is there. It is not passive. You are not a passive. Reader is not a passive. Interaction between the reader and text, both are important. You can't say reader is above and text is above. No, both are equal. Both are equally interact. So here I told you, right, divergent thinking or multi-model, multi-factor. What are the factors that shape our comprehension? Sir, I am experienced, so I can read the text very quickly. Sir, my cousin brother, somebody is 8th standard, he has very less experience, so he can't understand. So I have to help him to understand. So experience really helps us to understand something better way. So we can also call it as prior knowledge. Somebody has knowledge in computer science. You give the textbook on mathematics, or you give textbook on science or chemistry, they will struggle. So if you see, the prior knowledge plays a major role to understand a text. And the attitude, always they ask you reading attitude and aptitude. Sir, I don't like reading at all. It's boring activity. That's it. Enough. Nobody can read. Nobody help the person to read. So you have to have a positive attitude towards the particular information. For example, somebody doesn't like some other religion. They don't read the textbook at all. Somebody doesn't like particular country. Somebody published the book there. You don't like to read the book at all, because the attitude towards the religion, the attitude towards the culture, the attitude towards other community should be positive. You have to have open mind to welcome the ideas and knowledges from all over the world. That is what library, you can say, go there and get the knowledge. Who writes? No problem. But what it is written, that we have to interpret and understand that. And community. I come from different community, India, right? In India, I have come from South India, and somebody come from North India. Different culture and different social setup also will make them shock, cultural shock. Sir, we don't do that kind. Is it correct? How the story goes? How come? I don't understand. So, for example, Northeast, if you go to Northeast, like Manipur or other places or Assam, their practice is different. And you write a story, they cannot understand. For example, I will tell you one example, rabbit hole. So when I look at the textbook, I remember only rabbit holes. What do you mean by rabbit holes here, everybody? Rabbit hole means, rabbit, it makes holes to live. Yes. But the cultural meaning, the idiom is, it says that it is confusing. If I go here, I can't reach the rabbit. It goes somewhere else. Again, I come that side, it has different holes. So different ideas. So it's really confusing. Like when I read the text, when I read the article, sir, it really confuses me, sir. Because you have to also understand the expression, cultural expression. Somebody says it's a rabbit hole. To understand the concept means it is a confusing concept. So we have to understand where you come from. Also shapes your comprehension. So you can understand multi-factor shapes your comprehension. It has a different processes here. You have to also be aware of it. And that's what I said. It's a different and multi. When it is multi, nobody can say this is a fixed definition. Everybody remember. No. Because of that, we call it as a complex cognitive process of decoding symbols to derive meaning. For example, in same class, 30 students are there. 30 students will read 10 ways or 30 ways. So different ways, not only same person can also read different things based on the punctuation, based on the command pass. For example, I will tell you one small example. Okay, small example I will tell you. If I say women, I give little gap, without her man is nothing. Women without her man is nothing. If I say who is nothing, based on the passes, somebody understands something. Again, I read in different tone or different punctuation. Women without her, right? Without her, man is nothing. Women, I give little pass. Without her, I'm not making as a without her man. Then without her, little pass, man is nothing. So who is nothing? Here, you can understand the man is nothing. So based on the pauses, based on the way we read, based on the commas, you can understand people derive at different meaning. Same sentences, same words, only the commas and pauses makes different meanings. Imagine what about the experience will make and prior knowledge will make and attitude will make and community context will also make different meanings. It's very interesting, right? That's what people will not think same way, monotone way. It's a monotonous thinking same way. Everybody, you have to interpret, reflect in your own way. You have to respect your own way, even though it is not like higher. We have to start thinking and reflecting on that because everybody, every reader is important for us. Yes. So readers decode and comprehend. Yes, we have seen. And also use the context clues. Look at that to identify the meaning of unknown words. Just now I said one word conjure up, conjure up. Then I will tell you the context. Now I have not told you what is the clue there. There is no context. I have given you in the isolated word conjure up. Word in isolation should not be given. It should be given in the context. For example, Raja, okay, Raja conjured up very delicious food within half an hour. So now you can understand, everybody. Sir, what is the context? Raja conjured up a delicious food, right? Delicious food for his friends. So the context is, you can understand, identify the context. It is about food. Okay, delicious food. What do you do with the food? You can eat the food, yes. What else you can do with the food? You can cook food, very good. And what else it helps you? For friends. Delicious food for his friends. That means he is not eating. So we can also understand that conjure up means maybe cooking, maybe preparing. So Raja has prepared, conjured up delicious food for his friends. So how do you know the meaning here? I did not even show you the dictionary meaning, but people can understand that. Yes, sir, it looks like cooking food. Yes, cooking food for him. So even though you don't know the word conjure up, based on the context, it gives you the clue to identify the meaning of unknown words. After that, if you don't understand the meaning, then you have to use the dictionary. That is also another skill. So I hope everybody understand this as a clear thing. And then understand the word. Finally, we are going to integrate the meaning, what you get from the text, And what you have already, the existing framework of the schema, existing knowledge, helps us to construct new knowledge. So to create new knowledge, it is not just only understand the text. You are going to integrate. That is the important aspect here. Linking the knowledge, integrating the experience, what I have, and give the meaning to the text and create something new from the text out of it. So people also call it as thinking out of box. So come out of the box and think differently, different thinking. So you understand the process and the meaning here. So let us see other aspect like reflecting aspect. Now we have seen what is reading, right? Till now you know it, you are doing it, but you have to be aware of it, what we are doing it. So till now I was reading. Yes, I was reading. Good. And I was not knowing this much details are there. Yes, very, very good. Now you are aware of something. You know what it is. You understand how it works. Yes, I hope it is very good. If you follow me and then also participate in the activity, what I do. Since it is not a classroom, I can't take an interaction in between. Okay. So you have to excuse me for that. And so overall, you understand now, right? Overall, you understand. So when you are reading, sir, it is not reading for information, reading for reconstruction, because author already constructed the knowledge, giving the knowledge in the form of textbook. You are reconstructing the meaning. Yes, you are working on and interpreting the meaning and re-evaluating it. And you are reacting emotionally, giving the likeness, I like it, insightful, curious, something new, and creating something new idea from the author's written content by means of prior knowledge. Prior knowledge. I have some knowledge. From that knowledge, I gained from my life, right? And I'm going to do all these process. Yes. So reading is not a simple thing, and reading is not a difficult thing also. It is a complex, but it is always easy if you know it. If you don't know, it will be like how. So the magician will not show how coin goes away, but he shows you the coin goes here only. Oh, this is very simple. So everybody think. So that's what people also say. Reading tips. Reading tips. I'm going to talk about. There is no tips. I will tell you how to read. That's it. So there is no tips and quick something you can go and achieve some short route. Everything should be going in the proper systematic route, systematic way of reading a textbook. That we have to understand here. So you understand the process. To bring this only, I was showing two aspects of meaning and process. Yes. Now we have to also understand the levels of reading to understand how we start reading to reflect here. So always people talk about Bloom's taxonomy. I hope many of you are aware of Bloom's taxonomy. We generally focus on remembering. Yes, sir, understand it's coming, but sometimes, but most of the time you say school, read, remember for the exam. It is very important. Memory poetry, it's a memory essay, memorize and go. Memorize and rewrite it and show me how to, and then model test exams. So for the purpose of exam, you are reading intensively, remember something, recall something. That's it. So we have to also move towards understanding the text properly and apply and analyze and evaluate. That is what you are going to get new knowledge by reflecting it. So let us see the levels of reading here. Literal, the school kids will do, even we also do. Literally, what is written? What is the name of the character? Who did it? Right? Who has given the particular item? And who killed the person? Who died here? So directly, literally available. This person is dead. This person only killed. There is no thinking. You can say, who did it? He did it. Finish. Simple. Then next one, interpret. Why he killed it? Can you understand why it happened? What do you think about? So we are trying to interpret, entering into the next level. We are trying to interpret what is written, what is actually said, and what is actually meant there. Then we are going to say critical reading, critical, reflecting on that, critically identify. What are the reasons? Reason out, justify your answer. Do you agree? Yes, sir, I agree. Why do you think so? Because of that. Can you justify? Yes, sir, let me justify with that answer. It can be something you compare with something, intertextuality. Take the same similar actions in the other stories. So it can be here. So we can also apply that. We can also analyze and also apply here. Finally, we are going for creative. So creating something new out of that. Understanding Shakespeare. See, already everybody is reading Shakespeare, but still I can write a new book called Understanding Shakespeare in the 21st Century. I can create something new understanding, something new understanding. So new way of looking at the textbook, new way of looking at the textbook, looking at the information available based on the different context and situation. So I hope you can clearly understand. In the right side, you can see the diagram. It is from the below. Remembering lower order thinking, evaluation, creating something is higher order thinking. So I want you to move from remember to create. Don't remember what is written. I want you to create something. I want you to create something new out of the textbook what you read. So you have to also understand interpret and critical and creative. Let me go through very quickly in 5 minutes so that you can understand clearly what is it, what I'm talking about. And you say literal means what is actually stated in the textbook. That is facts and details. As I have mentioned already, there is no thinking. Simple basic thinking is available because directly available. Directly available. If you remember very well, you can go score 100%. Who did it? What he did it? When he did it? Where he did it? Finish. So basic surface level, looking at the textbook. So sometimes students will be struggling to understand something. I will tell you, there is a person, something like you say something like any other person. You take there is a teacher. Okay, there is a teacher. He was born in 1980. Okay, 1980, and he say he got job. He got job at the age of 25. At the age of 25. So the question will be, when did he get job? I don't ask the what age. I ask which year. In which year he got job. The year is not directly available. Actually, it's not available there. 1980s. Please, everybody note it down. He was born in 1980, and he got job at the age of 25. At the age of 25. So it is not actually available. People will be looking at where is the age, where is the age, year is not there, year is not there. Only 1980s are available. Some students are there. Oh, 1980s, correct. Some students, they don't think. They directly go and say 1980 something written. So they think that the teacher is asking, or the question is asked on year. Okay, some year, something year. So there is no other year is mentioned in the textbook. Only 1980 is mentioned. I think this is the answer. So they directly go and locate it. Simply identify, rote learning. Simply facts and details they collected. So what we have to do is infer what is not actually stated. You have to also understand what is meant by what is stated. Here, what is stated? 25 is the age. Okay. So you are going to connect between the lines. The first line says about the birth. Another in between some line says age 25. Then you are going to read between the lines. Then you are going to say the answer. The answer, you tell me. What is the answer, anybody? You can write it down. So you are going to add 80 with 25. So you are going to calculate and you can get the answer. So how do you get the answer? How do you get this? Another example I have given here. Example, John slammed the front door, tum, like that. Upon entering the house, when he is coming into the house, he makes the door tum sound and ran upstairs and threw his books on the bedroom, okay, on the floor, bedroom floor. So there is nothing is called something, right? Something is given about John. What are the actions are given? You can understand here. The question is, what is John's mood? Please, anybody, please write it down the answer yourself in the textbook. What could be the answer? I assume your answer now. I think John is very happy. Do you agree with me? John is so happy. John is very sad, frustrated from the school. Do you agree with me? John is frustrated, or John's mood is so happy because his friends maybe bullied him in the school, something happened, or something happened with the teacher, right? Teacher might have scolded in front of the students, or he may be failed in something, right? Do you agree with me? Which one do you agree? How do you know that John is not happy or John is very, even I can say John is so happy so that he threw. But since it is not just throwing the book, he slammed the door very, no, angry tone. Like you can understand that. And also, he is not slowly walking and then dancing. He is running. He is running towards upstairs. So we can understand he cannot be happy. So how do you understand the mood of John? It is not mentioned that John is so sad and then he went up and then throw the books. So you have to infer the information. It is the understand the what is not actually directly stated, but it is stated. It is given there. So it is beyond the literal word, beyond the literal word, right? Somebody says, right, I kill you like that. It is not literally I'm going to kill you. It is simply I'm saying because I will get angry with you. So you have to imagine, you have to infer the meaning, what is not found in the text. So you have to understand the next level. What is the next level? As I have said, critical reading. Here only you have to understand the meaning of the Latin word criticus, judging something, judging something. You are going to judge and evaluate from different perspective, different point. You are going to react. You are going to reason out. So we have to also understand something and we have to also react something and we have to look at the text from the critical perspective, analyze, evaluate, and judge, writing a review. So we have to have our own idea, and the textbook has different ideas. And based on our experience, I want to be critical, the critical reading. So the finally, if you look at the creative reading, that's what I said. Imagine, infer the flow of idea, the ability to connect it. So nobody has seen, for example, I will tell you the literary text, comparative literature. Comparative literature. How many of you are interested in comparative literature? We can compare Ramayana with other country epics. So we can also compare with our um, some literature, some different literature, right? Suppressed or epics or old literature too. Even in the same language, Kannada, we can compare from the modern poetry to the ancient poetry. We can compare and get the new idea and compare and get the new insights. So people used to write only poetry. Then they come up with new thing like a drama and come up with novels. That's what they name it itself, novel, fiction. Then they say modern poetry, right? And war poet. Different poets came, different ideas, different product came. So based on the imagination, based on the expression, based on the new way of expressing the ideas, same way it will be boring. So always human mind will be thinking to find out something new. For example, if you watch 6 minute song, okay, fine. But if I compose a song for 20-minute song, same song, will you watch continuously? It will be boring for you. So you want something new, something new. So when you are reading something, you have to always look for something new idea, new experience. So you have to develop your reading skills and reflective skills to become a creative reader. Creative reader. So to become a creative reader, I want everybody also think about something called integration of all the skills. Please, everybody, it's very, very important. Sir, what does that mean, integration? All the things you have to integrate. You have to understand actually what is said from the text. It is a literal meaning. Okay, literally he is saying something, but what is actually meant by what is said in the text? That is interpretive. Then you are going to go beyond that, applying that, the concepts and ideas beyond the situation. Now comes the biggest thing. Even after reflection, something called beyond, going beyond. I want everybody also to go beyond. Don't stand only read and understand the textbook. Read, understand, critically evaluate, and interpret and find out some new meaning in that and go beyond from that. So, what is that going beyond from that? Here we have to understand. In the beginning, I started with reading skill. Sir, if I don't read, what happens? I have problem with spelling. I have problem with the pronunciation, right? I have problem with how to read the word. Uncle, can you help me how to read this word? Yes, that is fine. Next one, if you don't understand the meaning, then there is no use of reading. Yes, we have seen. And if you don't look at the critical aspects of reading, again, you will be in the lower order thinking skill only. So today we have focused on reflective skills. You have to reflect upon the text. And more than that, how to go beyond that. How to go beyond that. That is called metacognition. So till now we are talking about cognition, right? Reading as a cognitive process. Now, what is that metacognition? Please, everybody. Metacognition. So I will ask you, do you know what are you doing now? Sir, I don't know, but I'm doing something. What are you doing? So you have to be aware of what you are doing. So if you are thinking something, you have to know what you are thinking and why you are thinking. That is called metacognition. So let me show you through visuals so that you can understand here. Two sides, right? You can see in this one, cognition, only I have mentioned the picture as a brain. So only action you can see, only the action you can see. That is called cognition. Here, on the left side, you see in the green color, it is two actions are going on, small one and big one. So what do you think? It's a real action? This is the metacognitive action. So, for example, I am doing something, but I am also aware of what I'm doing. So thinking about thinking. Sir, my thinking is not good. How do you know your thinking is not good? Sir, I know my thinking is really excellent. Sometimes I think perfectly. Sometimes I come up with a good answer. So I ask the question, how do you get the answer? Sir, I don't know. I think I guess the answer. No use. Don't guess the use. Don't guess it. Guessing will not work. You have to develop metacognitive ability. To develop metacognitive ability to think, understand your own process. So what I am talking, blah, 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 I'm typing. No, I have to control, monitor what I am talking. Am I talking correctly? Do I talk something meaningful? Do I say order of talking is good? Okay, something wrong. What can I do? Okay, my cognition is going this way wrong. Which is wrong? How do I know it's wrong? Because of metacognition. Because it goes beyond on the top of your understanding. So today I want everybody to understand your experience, your thinking, your thought. So you have to justify, you have to have the ability to interpret what you say. That is called mental action. You have to understand the mental action. You have to also monitor the mental action. So proper guidance to your mental action. Sir, I think here and there and then go anywhere and end up with somewhere else. No use. So you have to monitor. Are you trying to go on the right path? So that is what I have mentioned at the end. Awareness and understanding of one's own thought process. Sir, I know what I'm thinking. So I know, I understand, I am aware of what I'm doing when I read the textbook. So it will help you to reflect perfectly and reflect in different ways. Reflect the textbook information based on your experience. Sir, I am coming from farmer, right? So I have some task for you, but not now. You can do the task later. I can share the material. You can try that and understand whatever we have spoke as a theory to practice. Theory to practice in terms of reading skill. So here you see metacognition I have mentioned, the ability to think about thinking. So when I started this slide, this thinking I was focusing on. So everybody please think about it. Now I want to leave you with this thinking, thinking about your own thinking, thinking about your own thinking. So you have to understand the importance of metacognition. And here you see more than what I need to learn, how I can learn it best. For example, sir, I need to read the book, sir. But metacognition will tell you, how can I read the book in the better way? In a better way. How can I do this in a best way? So it's not about doing. It is about how can I do it? How can I learn it? Yes, sir, I have to learn, but how can I learn it? It's very, very important. It is called strategic reading. So reading strategies you have to take. And here you see it can be taught by asking students, think, students, think about ways that they successfully learn something. What are the ways? Ways means the strategies. Please, everybody has their own strategy. Sir, you are telling me that I have one strategy? Yes, but be aware of the strategy. How do you read it? How do you read it? Do you read? Do you do mistake when you read? Do you do something interesting? Please help your students, your friends, your kids, or your neighbor kids, or your cousin kids, somebody. So always you have to understand the way of reading. That is the strategies, reading strategies. So this is called big thinking. It is not just thinking. We have to understand it is a big thinking. So everybody, please understand when you are reading. When you are reading, you have to understand, you have to say, read before you think. Sorry, before you read, you have to think, read it, and then think, start thinking about the book. So now you have to also, how I think about the book also, you are going to include it. It is called metacognition. So till now, we have seen what is reading and the process of reading. What are the things we have in our reading activity? Your experience, context, personal, cultural, right? Everything comes into the reading activity. Good. So thank you so much. And this is what I want you to be aware of. And I want everybody to become a big thinker in the future. And now it is a time for you to have the process of prospect. Prospect. In future, how do you consider a textbook? How do you consider the way of reading? So please yourself carry this information with you in the future too and achieve big success by thinking in a bigger way. Thank you so much. So any questions? You can share the questions so we can have discussion sessions.
Thank you, Arul sir, for your
Thank you,
detailed
sir.
narration about reading skills. And it was very informative to all of us that how to read and understand the literary text. Sir also mentioned that reading is a lifelong process, and he also stated that thinking can be improved by reading. Overall, Arul sir, you briefed you like Arun sir briefed you all about fundamental skills which is required in efficient reading. Thanks a lot, sir, for enlightening us by your valuable and insightful talk. And now it's time for question answer session. I welcome Assistant Professor Premalata ma'am to preside over the QA session. Over to you, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. There is some technical problem. Wait a moment.
Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
There is one question. In this present scenario of modern mobile world,
Yes.
is there any special tips for the students so that they will be attracted to take their book or other books, novels, whatever the kind, or in reading for their reading purpose?
Right. So if you say in the modern world, everybody carries the mobile with you. So you can install um, the something called Moon Reader, or you can also install the Amazon Reader. You can also take a lot of classical books are there available, literary books, free, completely free. So the best use of Kindle book is that it will also helps you the lexical knowledge. For example, you can't carry the dictionary. Oxford Learners Dictionary is like around 3 kgs, so you can't carry. You can also have very good book, but Oxford Learners Dictionary is not possible for you to buy because it's very costly. So I can suggest you in the modern world, you can make use of ICT. So also I advise you, don't spend more time on screen. So spending more time on screen, particularly if you are reading, you forget your time. For example, I tell you, reading is a time consuming activity. So if you are traveling throughout the night, people buy the magazines and nightful they read. So one day travel, they read. It's a kind of, when somebody is reading a textbook, suddenly you go and ask them, what is the time? They will say, what is the time? Oh, I forgot. Oh, 4 o'clock, I have to go. Because you will be immersed in the textbook. So I can suggest you to read on apps or mobiles with the fixed time so that it will not hurt your eyes. But another thing also you have to consider when it comes to reading on screen, because My guide has done a research on reading on screen and reading on printed book. So we understood that more stress will be there when you're reading on the screen, and people will be getting distracted. Suddenly WhatsApp comes. Where are you people? Then group message comes. Oh, we are people meeting here. So you will be thinking of their meeting, what they will be doing it. So completely there is a distraction. That is also one possibilities. So I can suggest you can make it like flight mode. You can spend 30 minutes and read it, and you can spend only 30 minutes are allowed. More than 20 minutes if you spend reading continuously in front of the LCD screen, it will affect your eyes. So if you want to become a voracious reader or bookworms, better to buy the printed books. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, sir. So you're advising them to be bookworms and
Yes.
to lessen their stress over screen reading. Thank you
Yes.
so much, sir. This is the second question from a student, Vishnuvardhan of POC class. He is asking, sir, please tell us how to understand poetry.
Good.
He is asking a question how he can get better understanding in the poetry.
Yes, I will tell you poetry. The best example is, do you listen to Tamil song? Do you listen to Hindi song? Do you listen to French song without understanding? Everybody, if you go to YouTube, Malayalis will be commenting on Tamil song, even they don't understand. So poetry is meant for appreciation. So when you look at the poetry, don't read word by word, don't read and then say line by line. It is about the rhyming, it is about the language features. So why we teach kids rhyming twinkle twinkle little star? They don't know the meaning of twinkle also, but they will be singing and then dancing. The main reason is to enjoy, to appreciate the language of a poetry. So, poetry, I can say, for adults, you can understand and interpret in different ways. So, mainly, I request the students to enjoy the poetry first, to enjoy the poetry first by understanding the rhythm, rhyme of the language. So, when somebody listens to Telugu, the Telugu language is beautiful because it ends with vowel sound. So it will be like paperu, shapu, huh? Potunara, a, u, ela unaru. So everything like u, a, ends with vowel. Oh, nice. Are you talking or singing? So people enjoy by listening that. So if it is a poetic, we can understand it's mainly for appreciating that poetry, the language. So more than the meaning. Meaning will
Yes.
come after that.
So reading with the rhythm will attract more
Yes.
reading. And
Yes.
if it is like poetry, the rhythmic will attract the students to go through more. Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much, sir. There is one another question.
Mhm.
Are there any ways to understand whatever we read in universal manner?
Okay. Can you generalize what you read? it is
Yes.
it is based on the time of talking. So somebody reads, for example, Derrida. If you take Derrida deconstructivism, and people write on Derrida. If you take Freud psychoanalysis, people write in different ways, people understand in different manner. So we can't expect everybody to understand the same monotone, like same thing. It is not possible for anybody to understand same way, but it can occur. I can't say it never happens, it happens. So people understand, and if you understand the same way, there is no nothing new in that. If you get it something new from that, that means I can understand you are a creative and reflective reader. So we have to go beyond the universal idea.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think you have made the session in a very clarified manner. The reading habit would have been inculcated and more it will be improving day by day, I think, because of this webinar. I give this to Mr. Abhilash. He will continue now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now it's time to call Assistant Professor Santosh to render his vote of thanks.
Thank you, Abhilash, sir. As all good things come to an end, so is our webinar. I, Jay Santosh, Assistant Professor, Department of English. On behalf of GT Institute of Management Studies and Research, feels an immense pleasure to take this opportunity to thank each and everyone who directly and indirectly helped for this webinar to become a grand success. Firstly, I'd like to thank the chairman, Sri S.T. Anand sir, who is a giant palm and a helping hand for the institute in his absence here. Thank you, sir. Secondly, I take this opportunity to thank our CEOs, our Pramod sir and our Vinay sir, who always stand as pillars for the institute. Thank you, sir. Further, I feel privileged and honored to thank our beloved director, Dr. B.G. Satyaprasad sir, who is a visionary and a touchstone for those who seek knowledge in different areas of life. I also thank you for your heartfelt presidential address. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. P. Arul Nehru sir for serving as a speaker. When planning an event such as this, it is imperative to gain the participation of experts in the field. Your willingness to share your time and expertise in this area was critical to the success of the event. You made this an activity session and kept everyone alert and engaged. You simply made us realize we should love reading and we grow by reading. Thank you very much, sir. Then I would like to thank the principals of GT IMSR and GT Independent PU College, Dr. K. Suvarna and Professor Chikalinga sir for being a backbone and supporting us. Next, I would like to thank the HODs of the departments, coordinator and faculty members for your support. I should mention a special thanks to Professor Shivaswamy sir for helping us in organizing the webinar. Thank you very much, sir. Finally, I thank my lovely students for turning up in great numbers online and also those following the live stream in YouTube. Your presence helped us in making this event a grand success. I once again thank everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Santosh sir. And I also thank you for coordinating with me to organize this knowledgeable webinar. And I also personally thank you for introducing Professor Arul Nehru sir to our GTET. I thank you, sir. Talk to yourself once in a day, otherwise, you may miss meeting an excellent person in this world. Quoted by Swami Vivekananda. With this note, I will take a leave from you all. Thank you all for attending this webinar. Thank you.